will be made until all funds are raised. And 5, all work must be completed prior to any dedication or erection of a memorial plaque. Ms. Giddens accepts these conditions but requests a statement of support from the town board prior to embarking on a fundraising campaign. She understands that this would not be a guarantee of approval of the project. The Rec Commission requests that the town board consider this proposal and offer preliminary support. Thank you. I would like to make a motion directing our supervisor to, I guess, prepare a statement of support, right? Or preliminary support.
I would say we could make a motion to support the project as laid out by the Rec Commission's letter.
Right. Provided the
conditions are followed, and
right.
As laid out in the statement.
Do you want me to read that, or do you have it?
I'll just give a copy of that.
Right, I mean the motion.
I had something. Yours good.
Okay, all right.
Do you think that covers it? I think that covers it.
Yeah, yes, as long as the conditions specified the Rec Commission in this letter are met. I also want to just express my appreciation to Ms. Gittens for undertaking this project. I think it's a great gift to the town and a great way to honor her son's memory. And appreciate it.
Well, I'd just like to express our sympathy for her loss, and you know, we do think that this is a good way to rebuild the basketball court. But as I said before, we would like to wait till after the pool first season is over, and we know that we're kind of got everything under our belt. And so I had talked to her myself, and she understood that. But this is just to give her the groundwork to be able to go forward and try to secure the funds for fundraising. So, do a roll vote.
I second.
Roll vote, Councilman Hughes?
Yes.
Councilwoman Metzger?
Yes.
Councilman Krasowski?
Yes.
Supervisor Wall?
Yes. Anything else for you?
Yes, just the assessor. Last but not least, Grievance Day is scheduled for Tuesday, May 24th at the Rosendale Municipal Center from 2 to 4 p.m. and 7 to 9 p.m. Be kind before assessment. And so let's see. Say that's probably pretty much the news. I don't know what this whole before.
We just have to make sure that he secured a clerk for that.
Okay.
Usually Doreen's done it in the past. I don't know if she's been asked this year to do it.
Oh, clerk for grievance?
You have to have a clerk for grievance time.
Okay, I'll ask them.
And it can't be Lori. She's
Oh,
not allowed
that's
to
right.
do it. So
That's
has to be
right.
a different
Who did
person.
you say did it in the past?
Doreen, I think, did it last year. So we have to have somebody who works for the town. We usually ask them to clerk for those 2 days. So if you want to ask her, and if she can't do it, we've got it.
Well, you want me to ask? I'll ask him
Michelle
first.
could be
maybe.
Michelle could be an option if she's interested.
Okay.
The thing is, you're here all day, so you can't be somewhere else, so that makes it challenging.
If I could, I would just like to add to my committee report one little thing. In the code enforcement, there was to be a court hearing last Wednesday on a property that code enforcement had issued, I forget the term, court term summons,
Probably.
something like that.
We're not.
Issued a
Yeah,
Issued
for an
a
11
summons
o'clock
for it.
appearance last Wednesday. A couple days prior to that, the property owner, got a hold of him and said, "I'll fix it up." So the court date was canceled. But Eric Hines, the code enforcement officer, is doing a good job. He's a young guy, and he takes his job seriously. Very nice gentleman, or a calm professional person, but he's taken to the task of doing the job. And this was a property that was really kind of hard to live next to. Yeah. With that in mind, there's some rumblings about noise in downtown Rosendale. And now the summer, the spring, summer is happening, so there's live music. And so we're all getting up on the code, and I think what's going to be useful is for code enforcement, police, town board, and anybody who could be involved to kind of have the same story.
Well, right
So,
now, I
yeah, the
understand.
code is, like any code, is a little bit ambiguous. You could kind of interpret it in your own way. So I printed out a couple codes if anybody wants to. But anyway, anybody can look up ordinances like that on the website. The town code is fully there on the website. If you go to the top of the page, the homepage, Document Center, town code, and noise is under 47. But in the interpretation of the code, no matter what happens, a property, say in town that's loud, the only solution is to not harm your neighbors. Like, there's no exact spelling other than decibels of what's too loud and what's acceptable, except like if a bunch of people are upset, probably too loud. So it's like a real human adjustment that has to happen, and I think it's going to only happen that way, because otherwise you could have police going down all the time. You could have no resolution. It's got to be a face-to-face agreement. If it's loud, I'll try to keep it down, and that's the way it's going to work.
Right. And, yeah, another resident called me about that noise a couple days ago.
Okay.
It is striking a
I've
balance.
had four
I've had four
complaints,
too.
Yeah.
different
Another
people
one
calling.
today.
Yeah, so there are,
Yeah.
it's hard, we do have to, you have to strike a balance because it is Main Street, it's our
Right.
commercial, you don't want to kill the commercial sector, main drag of town business, but at the same time, it's also residential, and
Right.
so you have to really, it's a delicate balance to strike. But as I understand, Sergeant Shaffrick called me today and said that Mary Lou is going to be giving basically her interpretation of the code will stand. So
Right.
she's the town attorney, so, well,
A layperson's reading of the code would really favors the residents, I'm afraid, because it does, it doesn't sort of make a downtown exception. That would have to be a local ordinance that we would have to draft, that we would have to have compelling reason.
I think
To
there's
do
always
the-
some expectation that there's gonna be a certain level of noise if you live in a busy, kind of city block or neighborhood where there's businesses, but, I think what people are looking for is that the noise level doesn't interfere with their own life inside their home, whether it's watching television or listening to their own radio or putting their baby to bed and that kind of stuff. So that's where I'm hearing the complaints that I don't object to there being some level of noise or some entertainment going on, but it needs to be at a level that I can still function in my own home. And I think that's where we need to find that balance. So that's the complaint I'm getting.
That's
Over and over. That's what you've got to.
Today was, they have a young baby, and it was 11:30 at night.
And we're not supposed to have anything past 10.
Right.
So,
The common sense of those terms are when your enjoyment of your property prohibits me from enjoying my property, you overstep sometimes.
Right.
That's,
It's
I'm
tricky.
not,
It's a tricky
I'm not saying
thing.
that's my
Yeah.
absolute rule, but that's
Right.
kind of underlying common sense.
well, I don't think we're gonna be able to really go, like Jen said, our attorney's gonna, give advice to our police department on how that code should be interpreted, and, hopefully, residents and businesses will listen to our officers. They're the ones that have been explained how to handle this, and, going forward, I think it's really gonna become more of a police matter.
Yeah, sure.
Anybody else? Good. All right, as John mentioned, I don't have the financial balances tonight because we had a bookkeeper out of death in the family. But you will find the other statements right here, and I was wondering about
I
that.
don't think so.
Well,
it
we
seems
could
like
say as
can we
written.
do all of
well, they're different amounts, some of them, so some are returning and stuff. So let me see. Well, let's start with,
Well,
Do you want to round robin?
how about if we do
You
all in
can-
favor? At least that won't
You
slow.
We're
Can we
hiring-
read it, read them all?
You can read them all.
But the problem is, if anybody doesn't want to vote yes, we have an issue.
They're
Okay?
wrong.
Can we take a straw poll?
Yes.
Is there any recommendations on here that anyone has an objection to before we try to do this as a group?
No.
All right, so let's do it this way. Motion to accept the resignation of James Newman.
I'll second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Oh, okay.
You're going. Motion to hire Matthew McCluskey as youth director at $13.50 per hour, 40 hours a week, effective 5/12/16.
I'll second.
All in favor?
Aye.
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 Motion to hire Jessica Fleming as a rec aide for $10 an hour for no more than 40 hours per week, effective 5/12/16. Just to clarify, that is the position of Tara's assistant, and then put it in as rec aide rather than a youth worker.
I'll second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
A motion to hire, excuse me. A motion to hire Joshua Dingman, Dallas Rodriga, Alberto Bruno, and Gianna Scorselli as temporary cashiers for the summer as listed on this, it's all for they're all
They're all
$9 per
nine,
hour.
yeah.
For no more than 40 hours per week.
A second. That.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
A motion to hire Megan Remugrera, Colin Ford, Thomas Restevio, Edward Zajac, Serena Zajac, as temporary lifeguard for $9.50 an hour for no more than 40 hours a week.
Second.
These are all effective 7/1.
All in favor?
Aye.
Jen?
Yes, I said yes.
A no motion to hire
Nitya.
Nitya Cohen and Taryn Colin as temporary, and Emily Galidi as temporary lifeguard for $10 per hour.
Daisy was the same.
Huh?
Daisy was the
And
same.
Daisy Waltermore.
Oh, you're right, Daisy Baltimore.
It says 10.
Daisy's supposed to be 10:50.
What is she supposed to be,
Let's
Jill?
change that.
10:50.
Oh, yeah, she has some
Okay.
certification.
That's right, all right, so the first three.
Aye,
Let me
I'll-
clarify that.
Yeah. Nitya,
Nitya Cohen, Taryn Collin, Emily Galidi.
I'll second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Motion to hire Daisy Waldemeyer at $10.50 per hour for no more than 40 hours.
Or, yeah, aye, second.
Motion, all in favor?
Aye.
Motion to hire Sean Combs as temporary lifeguard, $11 per hour for no more than 40 hours per week.
Second?
All in favor?
Yes,
Aye.
Motion to hire Sean Sweeney as temporary lifeguard, $12 per hour for no more than 40 hours.
Second?
All in favor?
Aye.
Motion to
Aye.
hire Kathleen Combs as temporary lifeguard, $12.50 per hour. Is she one of the ones that's the aquatics director,
Potential.
Yeah.
Products directors.
and aquatics?
I'll second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Motion to hire Quinn Schmick as
Simic?
Shimmick, how do I say that?
I
Simic.
think it's
Simic,
Simic.
as temporary lifeguard, $13 per hour for no more than 40 hours.
Second?
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Okay, we got 3 counselors in training, they don't get paid, those are Natalie Dart, Brooke Davis, and Alexis Wento.
I second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Motion to hire Mackenzie
Yeah, shoot.
Hanshu and Jaden Broadhead Milton as camp and Nicholas Hope Mary.
Yeah. Isn't it?
Who's that?
Is the L in yours? I think it's L.
Can't read like a regular thing.
This reads criminal. I don't know what
All in
it's doing.
favor?
Aye.
I seconded
That
it.
was $9.
Keep on going, Mandy.
You lost track sometimes.
Here, you can do 5 now.
Oh, wow. Motion to hire Courtney Briggs, Brandon Davis, Samantha Fuller, Michaela Jakowski, Carson Parks at $9.15 per hour for no more than 40 hours.
I second.
9:18, what'd I say?
9:18.
Jeez.
All in
Tough
favor?
bargainer.
Aye.
Aye.
It must be like reading it so old over there. Aye, I'm sorry.
Always trying to save money.
Yep. Motion to hire Matthew Godstein as camp counselor at $9.50 per hour, no more than 40 hours. So let me just say that both Matthew and Thomas, we can actually add him to that, right? Where's Thomas? Is he on here?
Well, Thomas isn't
Oh,
a
youth
counselor.
worker. Okay, that's
So-
true. Okay, so motion to hire Matthew Godstein, a camp counselor at $9.50. So he's going up to $9.50 because the others are coming in and we want to give them a raise for that.
He should be above,
He's got
because minimum
seniority.
wage went up and then.
Yeah. Everybody understands, right?
Plus, he's been working
They've
very
worked-
hard
yes.
at the youth center.
Him and
he certainly
Thomas
deserves it, both of them, yeah.
They've both been holding things together.
Yeah,
Can you second that?
I second that with gusto.
All in favor?
Aye.
Motion to hire Matthew Van Buren as camp counselor at $10.46. Basically, he's coming back at the same rate that he left.
Yeah, I second.
Aye.
All in
Aye.
favor?
Huh?
Motion to increase the salary and hours of Thomas Roddy to $9.50 per hour for no more than 40 hours per.
Second that.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Motion to hire Kelly Godstein as per diem youth worker for $9 per hour, effective 5/12/16.
I second that.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Motion to hire Kyle Corella as youth worker at $9.18 per hour for no more than 20 hours per week, effective 5/12/16.
I second that.
All in favor?
Aye.
A motion to appoint Thomas Briggs to the Police Commission for a term ending on 12/31/16.
I second that.
All in favor?
Aye.
A motion to hire, did everybody aye?
Yep.
A motion to hire Madison Warren as temporary lifeguard. Oh, this was an add-on. At $10 per hour, for no more than 40 hours per week, effective 7 months.
Second that.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Oh, you get this one,
Yes.
France?
A motion to appoint Laura White to the Environmental Commission. I don't know what the term is, the ending term.
Well,
2008, end of 2018.
Okay, to end
Oh,
at
thanks.
12/31/2018.
Billy?
Second that one?
All in
all
favor?
in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Hey.
That's good. I like doing it that
Lots
way.
of new hires.
Hey,
Hey, can I just
Our
say,
summer
can I
staff is here.
I just want to like breathe a collective sigh of relief on behalf of the youth center and youth
Yes.
program that we're like fully staffed now, and for Tara, who has been also holding down all forts, and this is a great thing.
Yes.
So,
Can I ask a question?
Yeah.
Not all of them have to sign the book, only the permanents, right?
I believe so.
I think,
I don't,
I don't know, Mandy.
Yeah.
Let me look back and check what's happened in the past.
Yep.
I just
I think
also
our
want to
grandma
point out
has
to
a
the
book
board
down
that
there.
Jill and I decided to put 40 hours down, so we don't have to worry that somebody's short-staffed and they need to ask someone else
They
to
can
come
fill
in.
in.
They're not expected to work 40 hours. Some of them are going to work 10, some will work 30. It's going to
Right.
depend on how the schedule's written, but we just wanted to put no more than 40. But with summer help, you have somebody leaves, you have somebody comes. We don't have to run back to the board every time somebody shifts. Oh, I have a shift that I need to work, but I'm not allowed to work more than 20, so we wanted to do that just in
Good.
case. But Tara will, that'll be Tara's discretion and Matt's discretion for camp, so. Site plan approval for the Mermaid Parade.
Now, not
Anybody
crossing,
have,
closing the
she's,
street.
she's taken out the closing of the road, right? And
It has all her necessary approvals from departments.
she has.
that's a good question.
She said that she
Mandy?
had talked to everyone.
she, as far as I know, everything is.
All right, let's make it a conditional, just in case. I'll review it with her to make sure. Actually, I'm gonna give you that job.
Yeah, I'm pleased, but I'll double check with her, but
Double
she
check.
had everything with the police
I think she did
department.
too,
Yeah.
and I got an email from her, and I believe
I'm
it was
pretty
over.
sure she told, that's what she told us
And
last week.
Gallagher and everybody, you know,
Yeah.
signed off, so.
And maybe she just needs to let the fire department know. I don't know if she did that.
If she didn't want to go.
Sign off from police chief,
Mermaids, they can.
Ulster County Highway
Put them-
Super.
Spit on it.
Okay, so I'd like to make a motion to approve the site plan for the Mermaid Parade. Conditional that all necessary sign-offs have been sent in.
I'll second that.
Roll call, Councilman Hughes,
Yes.
Councilman Wexler,
Yes, and I look forward to it.
Mhm.
Councilman Bisaccia,
Yes.
Supervisor Walsh.
Yes.
Your mermaid still.
Yeah.
My mermaid is probably just waited.
Okay,
Alright,
is-
MS4.
Are we calling this resolution 1? 2? 2?
We did a one last
Two.
year. What week?
All right, resolution 3?
2.
2? No, this was resolution 2 that we
The
approved.
mermaid?
That's a
No,
motion.
motion, that was a
All right.
motion.
Oh,
We didn't have a resolution.
Resolution 2, 5/2016-2, MS4 report. Whereas the town of Rosendale is a regulated municipality with the New York State Pollution Discharge Elimination System, SPEEDIES, general permit for stormwater discharges from municipal separate storm sewers, MS4, GP 015-003, with a signed permit number NYR 20A418. And whereas the MS4 permit requires the town to prepare and submit an annual report to the New York State Department of Environmental Conservation by June 1st. And whereas the town stormwater officer, Mr. Thomas Fiore, with the assistance of the town consultant, Bernier Larios, PC, has prepared a draft MS4 annual report for the period of March 10, 2015 through March 9, 2016, hereafter referred to as 2015 MS4 annual report. And whereas the draft 2015 MS4 annual report was made publicly available in printed form at the town hall at 1915 Lucas Avenue, Cottingville, New York 12419, and electronically available via the town website since April 25th, 2016. Now therefore be it resolved that the draft 2015 MS4 annual report is conditionally accepted by the town board pending resolution of any comment received, and the town board authorizes the town supervisor to sign and submit such final report to New York State DEC.
I second that.
I got to play through our North Commission, just play through water.
Roll call, Councilman Hughes,
Yes.
Councilwoman Metzger,
Yes.
Councilman Bisaccia,
Yes.
Supervisor Walsh.
Yes. So we have a change order that was kind of left out of the loop last time, that we did the change orders. This is to put the other cables that are in, instead of doing it later, we do it at the same time. It'll save us money in the long run, so we're gonna put the cables in now. So 2016, 4? What's that?
3.
3, oh, jeez. I can't count. I can read, but I can't count. Rhinebeck Municipal Center cameras change order number 3, whereas the town board of the town of Rosendale entered into an agreement with VistaTrack International Corporation to install cameras at the Rhinebeck Municipal Center, and whereas VistaTrack has made a recommendation for change order 3 to address the need for additional cameras and labors for cameras. Now therefore be resolved that the town board of the town of Rosendale authorize supervisor to sign change order 3 to address additional cables for cameras.
I'll second that.
Roll call, Councilman Hughes,
Yes.
Councilman Metzger,
Yes.
Councilman Bisaccia,
Yes.
Supervisor Walsh.
Yes.
Drew me off.
You want me to review the rates?
Yes, so in your packet, we have a little nice spreadsheet that Jill made for us. And we look at what the commission first recommended,
Yeah.
we recommended to the commission and what was recommended back to us.
Yeah.
And then we should
So,
finalize it.
I had it on this side in the back, the very last thing.
So,
All the way.
you know, Christine did, Muffy did put it in her report, in the minutes too.
Yep.
Yeah, I'd just like to review the discussion that was had at the rec commission in response
You have one?
to
I know I
the,
have it, I just can't find it.
I want this.
There's others.
to the town board's recommendations. Everyone has been agreed that the adult day rate would remain, would be $5. This is for residents. The town board has suggested, the rec commission at first proposed raising it to 3.
Can we go back, can I
Sure.
just ask, instead of doing down, can we do resident and non-resident and then this way? Because I think it gets much more confusing if we go back to the age categories back and forth.
Oh, okay.
You just do resident and then
age,
non-resident.
right,
Yeah.
okay. Yes, although I will say, most of the non-residents are the same.
Right, but let's just confirm that.
Okay, so, all right, so the rec commission had recommended that essentially all children be up to the age of 16, be $3. The town board we had suggested breaking that into 2 groups. Ages, it was actually ages, our recommendations were 2 to, right? Or no, 3 to 12, that's right.
Yeah.
Ages 3 to 12 would be $4, and ages 2 to 12 would be 3. The rec commission felt that, there just weren't that many teens to make a real monetary difference to the town. That $1 wouldn't really amount to very much, but it could really make a difference for a teen. So, and I have to agree with that logic. So they had gone back to their original recommendation of $3 rate for all children 3 to 16, and the non-resident children would be 5.
I have 4 here.
Yeah.
Sorry, we
Oh,
have
sorry,
4.
4, yes. hold on.
I will say that I think the town, what I recollect is the town board felt that teens would be able to come to the pool by themselves, where you have younger children or kind of kids that are supervised, and that was where, it was like a kid over 12 or 13, they get on their bike, they come down, so now you have an independent child sometimes who might need a little more attention, or, kind of like we were looking at it that way, but is that what you remembered? I think
Yeah,
kind of like the way.
as
you
well
were
as
thinking.
potentially teens earning some income on their own.
Yeah.
But yeah, also that it would be more potential work as well as not pose the same cost against the parent who would be less likely to be there
Right.
with an older child.
That's where our logic was, but we're not gonna.
Yeah. I think you could go back and forth though too, because I think that younger children can pose, can be a lot more work for a lifeguard.
I will say, my
as well.
feeling is if the rec commission felt that strongly about it, I can live with it.
Okay, and so we'll just go through all of them and then adopt them at the end. Okay, so where are we? So everyone was agreed that the children,
Well, they said under 3 and we said under 2.
right, right, and they were fine with that.
So stay with under 2.
Under 2 and under
2 and under, yeah.
would be free. Seniors, the rec commission had originally proposed raising it to $2 for residents. It had been $1, and $3 for non-residents. Town board suggested 3 and 5. Again, very similar logic. They felt like not that many seniors come, and for that demographic, $1 could make more of a difference to that individual than it would to the town. So, they recommended sticking with their original proposal of 2 and 3.
Well, you have 2 and 5 on
Or
Two
there.
and
2
five.
and 5.
Except
So was it only lowering it for the resident seniors, or was it lowering it for everybody?
Let's see. Actually, I think we talked about, I don't know
The
if we
notes-
talked about non-resident, did we?
I
And
think
the-
we did.
Yeah, we did.
And
Did you
the,
say 5? Keeping it at
I
5?
think we wanted to keep the resident fees lower,
Right,
and we weren't as
well, right, but there's,
concerned about the non-resident fees.
right, but there's 2, okay. It
it's
had-
still lower when from 8 to 5 is, I think, what we were thinking, but the question is, I mean, I guess if you had a senior that lived in another town that came every day, you know, but it might be worth it for them to buy a pass.
I mean, we had talked about 4.
They
I mean,
might
you
not
had-
have that much money.
It was 2
at
and
once.
3 originally, so
No,
it's
no, that's,
the rec
yes,
commission.
yes.
The rec commission had originally.
But when they came back to us, it was 2 and 5, so that's where, I'm not sure if you're saying we're okay with the 5 for the non-residents?
I think, yeah.
Okay. I thought 4, but, I mean, that would be consistent with the other,
Sure.
in terms of proportions,
Right,
that
right.
is consistent.
With
The
the
seniors is
non-resident.
unusually high compared to the
I'm okay with,
differential.
if everybody wants to go to 4 for the seniors.
Okay,
I
2
would,
and 4.
I would prefer 4, yeah. And then non-swimmers, the rec commission had proposed $1 for residents, $2 for non-residents. Town board said $1 resident, $3 non-resident, and we'll fight about that.
Okay.
Okay, season passes. The only real difference, the rec commission was concerned about the family passes. So we have recommended, the board had recommended having, a base rate fee for a family of 5 at $250 with an additional $25 for each child. But the rec commission was concerned that for families, single parent families, that would be steep. And they recommended, it actually amounts to exactly the same amount, but it's a different proportion, reducing it to 200 for a family of 3 with the additional child. So, if
$25
it,
for each kid.
for each kid, right, so it would, if there were 5 of them, it would still be $250. And similarly.
But they did not do that for this, it says 350 for the.
Yeah, but again, I think, I really don't think you guys discussed, I don't think it was discussed.
It came back from their minutes that way.
I know Muffy had it in her minutes, but I didn't have it in my notes. I don't know.
I will say that, when you talk about family passes, I don't have a problem with it being a little higher on the non-residents, because they're not paying the taxes to pay the bills for this, And I get it with the seniors and small children, somewhat.
Well,
but-
this would be just, it would be a completely different policy if we did it differently, so.
I don't think that that's true, because this is not about, we're trying to make it affordable, competitive, but we're also, you have to, the bargain, this is the bargain when you buy a family pass.
No, all I'm saying is between the 2 classes of customers, the resident and the non-resident, for the resident, you're starting at a family of 3, and for the non-resident, you're starting at a.
No, that's not the case. Nobody said that, we can't change this. I'm just saying, they didn't ask for change. So,
This is written up though as though,
yeah,
oh, okay. So we
Yeah.
could make
It
that
was
3
our
as well.
3.
See, I would just suggest for consistency to make that 300, and for a family of, why penalize a single mother from out of town? Just reduce it to
Okay,
do the
again,
same kind of
not-
reduction.
The exercise is not to win an argument here, but to present the logic that I remember us discussing last time. Whether it's a full family or a single parent from out of town, they're taking up a season pass, I believe, in space, a resident wouldn't be able to enjoy. So that was part of the logic that we discussed. Again, not saying that that's the whole, but that's part of, it's not penalizing out-of-towners, but recognizing that for every out-of-towner that comes in, one less potential resident can use the space. And no, we don't want to disallow out-of-towners, but we do want to sort of set it up to favor that our taxpayers and residents get to
and
enjoy
you're gonna figure what is
our
it
town
gonna-
facilities.
I'm looking at the dollar amounts that every taxpayer is paying, whether you're a tenant or whether you pay taxes, you're contributing to running of this pool by when you pay your taxes. That person that comes here from another town, you know, they're not paying it. They're not paying anything except for what they pay when they walk in the door. So you have to have some difference that makes sense, because if I was a resident, that wasn't involved in making this decision, I'd be asking why are they getting such a break when they're not paying any taxes? That would be my concern.
Right. All I'm saying is you have,
I don't think it should be for 5. If you're going to do this, if you're going to do for 3, you know, I don't know if 300 is. It sounds reasonable when you talk about it, but when you say, how much is that really talking when you're saying 3 people to go swimming for, you know, for 8 weeks? Let's get out your calculator.
I think there are only 17 when there were last season passes sold. I think the number was only 17, so it's not.
But
a
you know you're
huge-
going to see a lot more people be interested in joining this pool now.
Yeah,
And if they're out of town, or they don't live in town, which we want to be able to provide for everybody, but
Right.
if they don't live in Rosendale and they don't have any other place to swim, they're going to want to come to Rosendale to swim.
So 8 weeks.
8 weeks, right? Well, if we said 7 days, let's say.
all right, but
And so let's say you had $300
Yeah.
$350.
well, we haven't discussed that.
It's
This
56
is,
days.
this is full season rates,
right.
right? We haven't,
Right, right.
we are setting the rates as if it's the full season.
Right.
2016 is going to be a short season.
Right,
Yeah.
but we'll just say, for
So if
instance,
that's
Right.
56 days at $350, it's $6.25 per day
yeah.
for the use. For a family right now, as it's written, with 5 out of 10.
I think for 2016, for that 56 days, we'll have to do our own adjusted table. Like if we're setting these rates, it should be for the 80-day season, right? And then we adjust down.
So that's what
to
we're
the-
doing.
Right, so that wouldn't apply then.
So figure it after 80 days.
In other words, we'd have to prorate, calibrate to the new.
That's true.
So,
80 days.
trying to interpret the table, because this should be 300? Or
Well,
we don't know?
She
Your
thought
notes
it
say-
was, it
Okay,
should be,
right.
but they left it at 350 on their
Okay.
on the message they sent with their minutes, so.
All right.
So if you're getting 80 days for $350 for a family of 5 from out of town, you're paying $4.38 a day. Total.
I mean, we know not everybody goes every single day, but
Right.
there are some families that buy passes, it's because they're gonna use it a lot. If they buy a pass, they're figuring they're gonna use it a lot. So even if you said, you know, so that's really cheap, I think. But,
So
you know, we could
Yeah.
say that's for 4 people instead, or 3 people.
I
Could be
think it needs to be the same for resident and non-resident for the family.
the number of people.
Right.
It's
Yeah.
gonna get too confusing.
I agree.
for
I don't think you can
cashiers.
have 3 and 5, I think
So
it's gotta
3
be
people.
3 and
So
3.
So
Yeah.
if we're, well, let's say this, if we decide that we're gonna go with 3 people for $200, then we've gotta decide that it's 3 people for what? Is it 350?
or is it 300?
I mean, I'm not sure that, I kinda get the logic of the 3 people, because there are some families that are small.
Or is it 3 for $30 each additional child?
There you go.
I mean, the other thing is, why,
300, but bump it $5 a child?
Yes.
how much is, if 3 people, how much is that per person? Because the other thing is, you're saying $25 more per person, and that doesn't really work for the out of town. It should be more per person.
Well, we're saying, suggesting that we bump up the per.
So drop it from 350 back to 300 for the family of 3, but instead of $25 extra.
It'd be $35 or something like that.
think it's still a bargain.
It is a bargain
It is a bargain at this point.
Just remember that whatever we don't charge, whatever we don't charge to these people, it's gonna raise the taxes on people who do live in the town. That's, somebody's paying one way or another. You want it to be people that come here from out of town, you want it to
Yes.
be these people. And I don't think that people, when you're making up these rates, you're looking at that individual thinking you want to give them a break, but there's no break. It costs what it costs to run the pool, and the money's gotta come from somewhere. If the money doesn't come from those people, it comes from the people that live in the town. So you're gonna be, these people are paying with their taxes, and then they're paying when they walk in the door. People out of town, they gotta pay,
Well, they are.
proportion.
We're, for the first time, charging two different rates.
But Jen, there's no comparison to what, we're not even coming close to the difference.
Do we know what the counties pay?
We
at the
had done
county
some
pool?
We
comparisons.
looked
Yeah, we
at,
had
they looked, the rec commission looked at
Yeah.
all these different pools and the prices.
We're pretty comparable to everyone else.
Yeah.
It's just
Cheaper
the
than
cost
the-
of running this pool.
But remember, people that go to the
Yes, I
county
know.
pool, they live in the county. They're paying county taxes for the whole county.
Right, but
Just
Maury,
imagine
we
the
looked
county
at,
taxes
Maury
we have.
Yellow, their day rates
Yeah.
were a little steeper, but their season passes were cheaper. Like they
Well, it
just.
depends on if we want the price attractive for seasonal so people will buy it, or they'll say it's too steep and they'll just play it by ear and come. Like if we want revenue up front, we make it cheaper, like that's just sales.
You said-
Right, because if it rains all summer,
Right.
you'll
You said
lose your money, but if you
It's-
have a
it-
family
you know,
pass, you've got your
usually when
money.
17.
The
I didn't know.
vendor wants to make money up
Last
front,
time.
they do a
Yeah.
cheaper rate, just so you can get a pile of money.
So if we
But
had
I don't know.
17.
Well, that's when the pool is a wreck, really, towards the end, the
Yeah, you can't
pool
really
go
was
by that.
really
We got a brand
bad.
new pool.
People
Come
were
on,
really
So
also
what,
shopping.
335 for each position.
You can always raise it next year to see how.
I mean, I
it
think,
goes.
I think that,
So we do a $10 increase for extra fee.
It makes sense with the rest of what we're doing.
I can
It
go with
doesn't
that.
make sense actually to keep it the same.
I
Right.
can go with
Because
300 for a
everything else.
family of
Can,
three.
can
and then
anybody
335.
remember, what was my concern I had is we also, we reduced the number back to where we were before we closed the old pool, right? Wasn't it $200 for the family pass?
Mm.
Was
Do
it
you have
that
that
high?
number?
I remember 60.
Oh my God.
Yeah, we only paid 75. That was-
Yeah, that's before the water main got put in.
And you were complaining.
Well, we didn't get our money's worth. We're up in Bloomington, and I mean, that's a long drive.
That's true.
We ran down the
Stop that.
We run down the hill, and we
No, it
were
was one of
there,
those,
so we
yeah.
got our money's worth.
No, we got our money's
We'll be
worth
walking all
sometimes.
the time.
I did, I used to have rebate for baby.
Oh, yeah.
I used to.
So we probably
Every day.
Maybe if you get a pool shuttle that drives around town,
All right, so
picks
this is-
up.
I think we got it. I think we said 300 for a family of out of town family of three,
walk across.
but $35 per person the whole after.
Sounds
You
good.
can always revisit it next year.
I was reiterating what you
Okay.
said, 300 for an out of town family of three, but hiking the per person rate to 35.
All right, so the only thing I would say,
Sorry, Fran.
well, I just want to ask one question about that before we do. Does anybody know what the last rate was? Because I think we kind of lost sight of that we wanted to increase the rates from what they were.
I think we definitely,
They
when
did
we looked
increase.
at it, yeah, we had the
What
old
was that
rate.
number, though? Now we're going back down again. I want to know that we're not going back down to a rate that, is below what we started, because the idea
Yeah,
was to
no,
increase the rate.
I don't think so, but my iPad is out of power. I would go back to.
Jill, you gonna check that for me? Thank
She
you.
can go
There she goes. Thanks, Gil.
It is you. Should we sing a song?
All right, one other thing we could talk about
Summer.
is the,
Oh, we can go through the camp and the swim lessons too.
well, we already decided that we weren't gonna change those, right? So,
Yeah.
I don't like the maximum session thing now, family max. I don't know why we would do that.
Family.
So like, you're gonna pay the same for 2 kids as you pay for 4? That doesn't make any sense.
Where's
Swim
that?
lessons, we gotta pay
Under
for
swim
lifeguards
lessons.
to do lessons.
Bottom line.
Yes, yeah.
Okay.
I don't remember that being a
I don't
discussion.
remember that.
No, but that's obviously was
We
part of
didn't
it.
talk about it.
We didn't talk about that. I don't think.
No.
Mm-mm.
I think if that's what was proposed, was just left there, it wasn't discussed.
Was that the old policy?
I want to ask you a question, Bree. When you guys first proposed 200 and 300 for this season pass resident family and season pass non-resident family, was it for 3 people or for 4 people?
Originally,
Yeah, I want to say I believe it was 4.
I think it was 5, I think that was the original.
Okay.
Yeah, we were.
No, we had said 5, but I didn't hear what you guys considered a family.
Mm.
You don't remember?
At the last meeting, I know we brought it down to making
3.
it a family of 3.
Right, but you don't remember what the original was.
No, I don't think you guys, you guys
Minutes
didn't do
don't
it that
say.
way. That
They
was-
just said
that
it was a
this
family. It was just
board's
all, it was just
decision.
all,
Yes.
as many as you wanted.
Yes, so they, yes,
The February minutes don't say an amount.
yes, see, they had just raised the rate, the season passes,
I would think,
to 200 and 300. And this board suggested
that was a raise, you're saying, for sure.
that, I believe it was a raise,
All
yeah.
right, well, I will say that I'm not in favor of the cap on swim lessons. I think that's not realistic.
So where,
Here it is, it's right here, family maximum 110. And non-residents says, $50 a session, there's no max.
where did you see the max?
It's on the minutes.
Oh, no, I know it's,
It's on
well-
the minutes from the rec commission. I mean, you got someone with 5 kids, you're gonna say they only have to pay 110, same as a person with 2 kids? That doesn't make sense to me.
I thought that we didn't discuss anything about,
I don't recall that.
You might not have
discussion.
discussed it, but it's in here. I don't know. It's from your, it's like an earlier meeting, like February or something.
So it's up to this board to just,
Yeah.
Well, we don't have to adopt that.
yeah.
No, I would like to take that out, if everybody's okay with that.
I'm okay with that. I appreciate the point you brought up, John, about season passes or sort of cash up front.
Yeah, if that's okay.
Right, well,
We
in
just gotta identify
in
it.
businesses, that makes sense, but
Right.
town, it's not necessary. You have the money.
Right, we don't, right, so it's not,
You need the revenue one way or the other. But the revenue is added up for the whole year. It's a
Yeah, it's
fiscal
not
year,
like-
it doesn't matter.
Right.
The only,
So-
the only way it would matter is if, people just don't typically use the pool. They
Yeah.
get
If
family
John's family
passes,
buys
but
a
they
pass
don't
again.
typically.
And we
that's
just get
like-
people like John to join and live in Bloomington, never
that
come.
is the goal of family season passes for any place, is like, get them to
Yes.
buy a boat, and they won't show up. and
And the
spend.
weather isn't good, you know?
Yeah,
Non-resident family, 300, non-resident single, 200.
So that's from 2011. We're going back to the same amount. That doesn't make any sense.
No, those are both non-resident. She said
No.
non-resident.
Say again, Jill?
Non-resident family, 300, non-resident single, 200.
Okay, what were so we can't keep it the same, what it was when we closed the pool.
well, the idea is we're adding,
For 6 years, 5 years later, and a new pool, it's gotta go up for the non-residents.
Actually, we went down this year on the non-resident single.
What was it before?
It was 200 and 150 for this year.
What are we thinking?
It's a short year.
Oh, because the town board asked for 200 and the rec commission wanted to lower it to 150. So even if we left it at 200, that's what it was before. We can't lower it.
5 years ago.
wait, the,
Non-resident single.
I didn't know we had,
She's got the 2011 ones.
I thought it was all one in 2011. We
2011
had no,
says seasonal passes, resident family, 110, 150, resident single 100, non-resident family 300, non-resident single 200, senior single.
So we had different rates for season passes, but not for day rates?
Correct.
Yeah, that's probably a cashier thing. It introduces more work for cashiers to be tracking the day rates, as opposed to if you buy the season pass, it's pretty easy to charge different prices.
Jill, do you have the resident rates there?
For seasonal,
Yeah.
for single it was 100, and for family it was 150.
So that's up 125 or 200.
Plus each individual person.
Right.
Most families are more than 3 people,
So,
I would say.
so the 150 for single non-resident is actually $50 less now than it was in 2011.
Which is, sorry.
150, you're saying non-resident single in 2011 was $200. Right now, we had proposed 200, Rec Commission came back with 150.
So I do remember this discussion of the rec commission of the singles, that there just weren't any. They had you had very few single memberships.
So once again, the hope is to get non-resident singles to buy a membership and then not actually use it that much.
But when you have swimming lanes now, it's gonna be very different. That pool was a wreck. And now it's real swimming
Yeah,
lanes.
We're
talked about
talking
that
about
too.
having morning swim, lap swim, so
Like
we discussed, we'll probably
6 a.m.
have more
Oh, I'm there.
singles.
Don't wait.
We'll probably have more single swimmers
You will.
because of the lap swim.
And
Yeah.
we want to probably
Yeah.
charge at least as much as we did in 2011.
Absolutely.
I mean, I don't like the number, but I also don't like the lot.
Yes. We can't go down. We have to make it at least.
Right. No, I agree.
Should go up a little bit, you know?
Yeah, I
The
agree.
water's clean.
Which is actually going down a little
It's
bit.
going down when you look at it. They're more expensive.
Oh, yes, you're paying much
See,
more
this
for
is
the
why I wanted the
lifesaver,
extra
the
column.
lifeguards.
Gee,
Huh?
that's why I wanted that extra column with the 2,000, with the last three.
Uh-huh.
This makes it, it's, you know, this is like a vacuum here without that.
Well, my understanding was everybody had, you know, that had already been evaluated, and that was being evaluated when it came to the board,
Well, they
so.
did, but they had different discussions. Again, like I said, they came to this conclusion that like there were, like.
Well, I'm
certain-
either gonna say we're not ready until we double check with them to do this tonight, or we need to override some of this stuff, because this is not gonna fly.
I mean,
I'm not sure.
As we've been going down the
So,
columns.
well,
We're
let's-
positive this is 2011, right, Jill?
Yeah, it says right on the top. Came
Where does it
from
say at
Carol.
the top? I don't see that.
2011.
Oh, yeah.
can I see it? Can I see it?
No, very.
So,
So
Okay.
far, as
I
we
mean,
were-
this is what, I think that we are, I think that we're fine on most of the fees, and I think that we should just decide tonight on
Good.
the seasonal passes and just be done with it.
Yeah, I'd like to be done with it.
All right, let's decide.
So, can I
But
ask
wait,
you-
hold on, let me
Can I ask
just,
a question?
Yes.
No.
Which section of the top of the regular single fee for the day are we looking at?
We're just looking at what this, what they proposed, what we proposed, and what they proposed
But you didn't
again.
decide
We
on
didn't
any of
decide
it.
any of
Okay.
these yet.
but
We're
again,
gonna-
the
we're gonna let
seasonal passes, it looks like, so Jill, where were you seeing non-resident seasonal passes? This only has, oh, I see non-resident, okay.
She's just like,
So-
They make me young.
I'm used to it side by side. Okay, so,
this is exhausting.
it's exhausting. All right. So, 150 single?
All right, I'm not looking at what you're looking, so I'm not sure.
So it was, 100, actually, it's
What was it?
it was 100 residents single in 2011, and we're now proposing 125.
Mhm.
So do you think it should be 150 residents single?
Do you want to ask the single person on the council?
Yes.
Yes.
No. 125 is great.
175.
Sure. Well, actually, in light of the fact that we're going to have more,
140.
lanes,
Opportunities
et
to-
cetera.
yeah.
That's a,
Why
Well, one
not
of the things
go
we were
for
trying to
150?
figure out is that, if you buy a single pass, does that mean you can come in and do laps? I would think you could.
Mhm.
But what
Yes.
happens, so if you, so,
Yes.
yeah,
yes, this is like,
so I would say
Then I'll
one,
buy one,
yeah,
okay?
all right.
I don't know how often I'll get there at
Get
6
that,
a.m.
get that in writing. He said he's gonna buy one
He
for
said-
$150.
That's right.
And
It's our
so,
first sale.
I don't,
I'm not
Maybe
asking
taste
anything
good
of
for
others that I
tonight.
won't.
I don't know if you're gonna get 200 for a non-resident single.
Well, you'll
Then I'll have
Then
more
they'll pay
lanes to
each
swim.
time they come.
Right, right,
Right.
exactly.
That's right. So let's make it 200 for the non-resident. What was it last year? I mean, 2011?
For the
Non-resident?
non-resident single was 200.
Oh my God, that's
225.
gotta be more than that. We raised this 25, we're gonna make this 25, so 225.
sold.
See, these guys like it. They pay taxes.
Hey, we don't pay that.
All right, so then are we leaving, what was the seniors before?
The
For the whole
seniors.
pass, for the whole summer?
The seniors were $50
Mhm.
And non-resident,
across the board.
so 65 and 100.
So,
We okay with that?
65, $1 for every year.
Well, raise it
Yeah.
25 like you did the others, make it 75.
You like that?
No, it
I
was
do.
Ooh.
50 and 25, right? Aren't you raising everything 25? Then at least you have a leg to stand on when they argue with you.
I think everybody was
No,
concerned.
we're done.
Where their seniors.
65.
There's no 60.
Yeah, I think we were a little cheaper.
What are we calling a senior? Let me ask you that question.
65.
65.
No, not necessarily. Is it 65?
I have some places that are 60.
So we need, that's what we have
I'm
to say. We're gonna have to
65
say,
for
what's a
all places.
65? What's
Well,
a
it's 65 for the 65.
All right.
Yeah.
All right, so let's
Right.
make sure we say a
65.
senior is 65 or over.
It says it right here,
That's
single
true.
senior,
That's true.
65
That's
or
right.
over.
Okay,
Now,
good.
so-
devil's advocate,
Yeah.
what
Right, so what
about
did we come up with our,
The junior seniors?
husband and wife seniors?
That's a family, or it's either a family, I see what you're saying.
Or
Are they gonna have to pay a family? It's
of
still,
it's mother, father, senior, and a,
I think
no,
they're
no,
65.
don't even go there, stop.
65 each. They already get
65
the,
each,
they already
yeah.
They're
get
getting a
the big
better deal
discount, so
Yeah.
65 each.
Yeah, so we'll leave that at 65, Barbara wants it 75.
My parents
No,
paid
no, I-
65
no,
each.
No, 65 is good.
No, no,
Yeah,
no.
65 I think it's a little bit of a raise, and 100 I think is still good for seniors, don't you agree?
Senior
All right,
non-resident.
for non-residents. All right, so we're back to the ones that really are killing us here.
Okay, so look, listen, all resident families, even if they had
Wait a
like
minute.
20 members,
Was 200.
was 150. So we've raised it to 200 plus 25
After three.
After
Over
three,
For each person.
yeah.
Let me see
So
this.
that seems reasonable to me.
I need to see it.
yeah,
Out of town?
This is in town.
Yep. Go over the non-residents.
Non-resident family was 300, we gotta up it. God.
well, we got it here.
Well,
Well,
But
non,
it was also
wait a minute,
unlimited.
wait a minute. A non-resident single, okay, we did that one. Senior, no, go back.
Go back.
Resident
We're
family.
we're just at family, it's the last one.
Resident-
You're allowed to go, but I'd like you to.
How about
stop.
singles?
I don't think we had gotten to the 300 and then 35 per person over.
All right, so everybody's good with that? I mean, we know that, basically what we know
Yeah,
is
Yeah.
I
that
think that was good.
it used to be that it was 300, but it was an unlimited number of people,
Yes,
right?
yeah, that's
Is that
right.
what, is that what they
And it
were?
really was an unlimited number of people.
Okay, so now we're
So
gonna
we're
say
doing
300 for three,
Yeah,
plus 35 each person
yeah.
over that.
So,
And then,
So
for
and then
resident, it's
for
three-
resident, for resident
it's
family,
2
200,
plus
Jen,
25.
Jen, one of us told.
I'm closer.
Apparently,
So,
Jean,
okay.
you want it to be you.
So,
Yes, and the supervisor, damn
So
it.
just regular family,
I've been talking full feet.
just regular family is what?
200 for three people,
Oh, they're all punchy.
plus $25 for every additional person over three.
I thought it was 35.